Hi, welcome to the Open Case channel. Today we bring you a new case for you. I hope you enjoy it. We hope you are all well from wherever in the world you are tuned to this channel, so let's go. The following case was written on January 13, 2018, in the municipality of Taxco Guerrero, Mexico. Magdalena Aguilar Romero, 28 years old, arranged to meet her ex-husband, Cesar Gómez Arciniega, to pick up her children and meet her mother at the municipal church for the annual mass of her great-grandmother, the mother of this, called the young man at approximately 5:30 p.m. This day, after that, he did not want to hear from her. Who would be found after that? It would really paralyze everyone present, including the police, shocking more of one, a scene that rarely achieves verses, but that we let us see beyond, what it is about to do to the human being in such a way as to satisfy their interests, leaving aside the effect that others have, even towards people who share the same DNA. Let's start at the beginning. Magdalena and Cesar met in 2011. At the beginning of their relationship there was mutual respect and mutual love. Both believed that they were perfect for each other, because after 6 months of relationship, which was ashamed of their first child, who at the time of the event was 6 years old. It was then that he decided to go live with him, but this time he would put good treatment aside and show himself as he really was, because the people who knew him knew that he was a macho person, as well as controlling and jealous in a great way. That the young woman's desire to improve, they would create conflicts between them, since she wanted to continue her studies as a nutritionist, something that he did not agree with. Since he had to move to Iguala, he did not want her to work either, but to stay dedicated to caring for their children and home. Little by little, the problems between the two became present, as Cesar increasingly wanted to be in control of the relationship. Sometimes he hit his partner, to such an extent that the young woman had to be treated for domestic abuse. Magdalena's appearance had changed significantly, since her parents saw her disheveled and somewhat emaciated, which surprised them quite a bit. To please him, she stopped dressing up, because her jealousy led to uncontrollable rage episodes. Physical aggression progressed greatly. That on one occasion she even denounced him to the public ministry, but when they went, they did not give it the importance it deserved. Even so, they continued their relationship and she became pregnant again, this time with a girl, who at the time of the crime I was 4 years old, after thinking if it was the life I really wanted to have. In August 2014, with the support of her family, Magdalena, tired of the physical and verbal aggression by her partner, ran away from home with her children, returning to her parents again. He went home numerous times from her in-laws to try to fix things. However, the young woman did not agree, because her goals and dreams were different from her ex-partner's. In 2017, she managed to finish her studies as a nutritionist, getting a job sometime later at the health center in Taxco Guerrero, giving private consultations in the nutrition module. Despite the problems, she did not prevent Cesar from seeing. On the contrary, their children agreed to have them on certain days, until the day of the crime would arrive. The events occurred like this. On Saturday, January 13th, Magdalena left her house at about 8:30 in the morning to go to the health center for a private consultation. Cesar he had to deliver the children to him that day, since they had been with him for 2 days. They agreed to meet at 1 p.m. in the Zocalo in Taxco. The young woman waited for a few minutes, but she did not arrive. Then she called him, and he proposed the delivery of his children at 12 p.m., and again he left her waiting. Later they agreed that at 5 p.m. he would take them. Even so, he did not come. It was then that Magdalena decided to go look for him. At his house, in Callahan de Platero No. 8, in the Guadalupe neighborhood, Taxco, at about 5:30 in the afternoon, Magdalena's mother contacted her daughter, who informed her that she would go to pick up her children at her ex-partner's house. Her mother told her that she was waiting for her great-grandmother's mass. Hours passed and she did not arrive. Her mother sent her a message on 2 occasions, but did not respond. Hours passed, finishing the mass. Her mother sent her a new message to find out what had happened, but she did not answer. At first she thought that perhaps she had already returned with Cesar, so she was upset. Magdalena's mother went home and took the great surprise that they were not there either. The night passed normally. The next day, she decided to go look for her at the house of her ex-partner. The meeting was received by Silvia Arciniega, the young man's mother, who informed her that Magdalena had come to her house and that she was alone for a moment, at which Cesar came out and confirmed that at about 6 p.m. he withdrew without taking his children. But something caught his attention, because the young man had some scratches on his face. Evidently something had happened with his daughter. After not knowing anything about Magdalena, his relatives and acquaintances began to search for her. Without success, the calls to his cell phone, they went immediately to the mailbox. It was then that they decided to go to the public ministry to issue the report. However, it was not taken as important as it should, so when the authorities refused to start a search, Magdalena's friends resorted to social networks, where they requested some information to find their whereabouts. The days passed until the residents of the place reported seeing her arrive between 5:30 a.m. and 6 p.m., but they never saw her leave. This put them on alert immediately, so both parents of the young woman, they went back to the authorities, asking them to search the home, because they feared that she would be deprived of her liberty, because people close to the place claimed to have seen her enter the house, but not leave. What they did not know is that 9 days after reporting her disappearance, they would finally find her, but not in the way they expected, because a devastating event would end all hope. It was January 22, 2018, 11:15 in the morning. The operation was carried out in search of the young Magdalena Aguilar, 28 years old. The police were in a place in Cesar, called the Boat Narrow, where they sold pozole with his mother, at number 5, Calle Tercera de Guadalupe, in the Adobe neighborhood, in a place approximately 3 m wide, with a black gate. Inside were the utensils of a business, chairs and tables. In the background there was a 3-burner grill. On top there was a pewter pot that they used to cook. This is where this case horrified the police, because inside the pot were the extremities of a body, upper and lower parts, and they were already cooked in a red sauce similar to pozole. At first glance, you could see a foot sticking out of it. Upon reviewing the place, they realized that there was a black plastic bag on the floor. Inside, it had the pelvis of a woman, likewise cooked. The rest of the body was semi-frozen, inside the refrigerator. Indeed, it was the missing young woman Magdalena Aguilar. Police and elements of the Mexican army cordoned off the area. Experts from the regional prosecutor's office and the public ministry were called. They immediately informed the mother of the young woman that they had found her daughter in Cesar's house, but in pans. The experts arrived at the scene and after a few hours transferred the remains of the young woman to the forensic medical service of the municipality of Iguala Guerrero. The mother confirmed that it was indeed her daughter. When they went to the home of the Arciniegos, they realized that no one was inside the property. At about 7 p.m. in the afternoon, Sylvia Arciniega was arrested, but her son Cesar was not. He was affirming that she had nothing to do with it and that she did not know about the whereabouts of her son. The actions of the authorities, it took too long. The young man disappeared without a trace. In the preliminary investigations, upon inquiring further into the case, there was a statement from neighbors, who claimed to have seen her with Cesar that afternoon. However, they never saw her return or leave the place, adding that the previous days, they had seen him go in and out and he seemed calm, in the same way they saw Sylvia, her mother, without the greatest possible concern. After that, Magdalena's mother, he stressed that he saw his daughter's ex-partner the next day with scratches on her face, but what shocked the police force the most was the statement made by the children, because despite his young age, the eldest mentioned that his parents began to fight until her mother fell to the floor and her father grabbed her by the neck. After that she didn't wake up anymore and her grandmother locked them in a room. The investigation in the case required experts in criminalistics, chemistry, and genetics. After performing the necropsy, the expert opinion revealed that the cause of death was suffocation by hanging. The forensic chemistry opinion determined that after the luminol test applied in the house of the Arciniegos, it was possible to confirm that the events occurred in said property, despite the fact that they had been cleaned perfectly, so as not to leave traces of blood. On December 6, 2019, Sylvia Arciniega, the murderer's mother, was sentenced to 40 years in prison for complicity in the Magdalena Aguilar case, because after the fact, it was confirmed that she was present at all times and was not. She did nothing to stop her son. She even participated in cutting off the limbs of the body. The common goal they had was to make the young woman disappear at all costs, since they planned to cook her, and then give that food to the dogs and so on. To get rid of the body easier, as the bones remain emaciated. On the other hand, Cesar Gómez, the intellectual author of the act, is still a fugitive from justice. Nobody knows his whereabouts, nor is there any clue that leads to the arrest of the subject. A devastating case that caused the loss of a young woman, whose dreams were to improve herself to give her children a better life. On the other hand, the indirect victims, who are the children, had to be left in the care of their maternal grandparents, thus leaving without both parents. Currently, a reward of 500,000 pesos is offered to anyone who provides reliable information that leads to the arrest of Cesar Gómez Arciniega. I hope you liked this video. If so, don't hesitate to give us a thumbs up, to comment and share. I invite you to subscribe to this channel if you are not already, and activate the notification bell to receive the latest uploads. See you next time.